been pissed if that had fell on my shirt. Phoenix made it. Phoenix is first. Okay, Phoenix, I'm working um on your package this week. I had to go back and look at our messages on Instagram to see if I had asked you if you received the first package, and I did, and you said no. And I don't know how you didn't get one. I don't know how mostly everybody else that is my moderator or was a member of the channel received one. The only person that didn't get one was Phyllis, and the only reason why she didn't get hers is because it came back. Like I must have had the address wrong or something, and hers came back to my house. It's a PO box that you gave me. Yeah, I haven't sent it out yet. Your the address that you sent me, you sent it through an email. So I'm gonna have to go back and find it. Unless you send it again. Send it to me again though. So I don't have to try to go back and look through all of those emails to find it. Like send it to me today so I can just like write it down. So I don't have to try to search through a bunch of emails to look for it because I want to try to mail it out this week because I need to move on and start working on other people's. Oh, okay, you gave me your real name in the email. That's fine. I just need to just send it to me again so it'll be at the top of my emails instead of me having to go through. But what I do need to do though is all of the members and moderators for the channel. I need to put you guys' information in like a separate folder or something, just separate so that I'll, like if I need to call one of y'all or something, or if I need to email one of you guys, I won't have to go digging through that information, digging through all of these emails to find you guys because I do get a lot of emails. I mean, some of them are spam and, unnecessary emails, but sometimes the necessary emails get mixed up with the unnecessary emails. And I don't want to do that with the people that I'm really going to hopefully be working with. So I do need to make sure that um, you guys are separate from everybody else. So, so did you just say you had to leave now, or you working or you staying? Because I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I don't want to be on here too long because I do want people to be able to go back and look at this video because there are some people who are still extremely interested in the Orisha, and for whatever reason they don't want to go back and look at the playlist and look at all of the videos that I've already made about the Orisha. They just, they new to the channel and I guess they just want to get it live instead of going back watching those videos. um, so I'm going to tell the story of how I was introduced to Oshun and the Orishas for like the first time. Like how all this happened, how me coming from a church girl, um, very deeply in Christianity or the Baptist religion, how the Orisha found me, because you don't find the Orisha. They, they find you and drop these nuggets, and you eventually, open up to them. So what happened was I was working at this group home, and every now and then somebody would work there that I would consider different. You know, someone would come in and they have crystals, or, they're into metaphysics and, all of this kind of stuff. It just was happening so much. And these people wouldn't stay. Like, they would come in and work for a while and see how children in the foster care system are being treated, and it didn't align with their spirit, and they would end up leaving. But they would drop a seed in my spirit. So this one lady came to work at the job, and she was a little bit older than me. And when she came, she was like in all white from head to toe. She had just been crowned Obatala. I, had no clue what was going on with her. I didn't know her. I didn't know what was going on with her, but I knew it was something, because when she got hot, she came for an interview, and we all saw her that day, and it was like, she stood out because everything she had on was white, white from head to toe. You couldn't see her hair because her head was covered in white. She had on all white. She had a white purse. I mean, everything: shoes, socks, coat, everything white. So that was for the interview. And, like, we didn't get a chance to talk to her. She just came in and, smiled and introduced herself. And then, she went on and had the interview. So she was hired. Now, this is where the interesting part starts. When she was hired, we had to have a meeting. We all had a meeting, and she laid down basically the, I don't want to say ground rules, but she had some specific uh rules that were based on her religion that she wanted people to understand. Like, we could not touch her. um she I think at the time she was bringing her own food. She had her own utensils, like she had a cup, a bowl, I think a spoon. She could not eat at the table with us. She had to eat on the floor on a mat. No one could touch her food, or like her. It was a lot of stuff, because I didn't understand at that time, but I come to find out she was in her Yawo year, which is the year that you have to do after your initiation to become a priest. So she was in her Yawo year. So there were a lot of things, she had a lot of restrictions, like she wasn't supposed to be out at night by herself, and a lot of stuff. So of course we all agreed to abide by her restrictions, and no one wanted to offend her because this was her religion. So um me and her worked shifts together, and in that, working together, I was asking her questions, and she was freely answering the questions. And so she had invited me to a ceremony. And At first I was like, okay, so what's gonna be going on, because the media really have us as black people scared of our own people. And in my mind, at first I thought, it was voodoo. Like, I didn't know the difference between voodoo and Ifa and Santeria and none of this stuff. Growing up, you think if it ain't Jesus, it's the devil. And you have this thought that voodoo is Satan. And there is no devil in Santeria, Ifa, or voodoo. There's no, God versus the devil. That whole concept does not exist there. So, at first I was thinking it was voodoo, and, I was asking her questions, and I was like, what they gonna be doing is it gonna be something crazy? Like, cause, I don't want to get there and y'all tie me up and, do something. But she was like, girl, ain't nobody gonna tie you up. So I went to the party. And it was that. It was, they had drummers there, uh, Nigerian. I don't know if they were Nigerian or Cuban, but they had drummers there, people singing and dancing the dances of the Orisha, not club remixes and that type of thing. It was, songs to Oshun, and the songs for Shango, and the songs for Yemiya. So, they had someone singing the songs in the Yoruba language, and the drummers drumming. And if you know how to do the dances to the Orisha, those were the dances that they were doing, not just, out here twerking. And no, it was, the Orisha dances, the dances for Oshun, the dances for Yemiya, because there are a dance and a song and music associated with each Orisha. So then I met one of the other young ladies who eventually me and her turned out to be best friends. She was in it also. And so me and her started talking, and she started working at the job too. So it was the three of us that, were like really close. But I wasn't in it, but the two of them weren't. So then I got a reading, because, they were telling me, like, I was like, well, how, is it a church? Like, how does all this work? And I started doing research and reading books, because I in college? I think I was in college. No, this was before. This was before I went to college. But I was still reading books and stuff, because the godmother of the house owned a botanica. And a botanica is where you can go and, buy all of your spiritual, like candles, oils, implements for the Orishas, the things that the Orishas need. You can get them from the botanica, clothes, all kind of stuff. Um, Alekes, beads, they sell oils, just incense, perfume, all kind of stuff. Anything you need that is spiritual, you can, find it at the Botanica. So she owned the Botanica. So I used to go there, and because they had like a whole library of books. So I used to go there and, just like, because they had like, you could go in, they had like chairs, you could get comfortable. So I used to just go there, because my friend was working there part time too. So while she would be working, I would be reading the books, because I didn't want to buy all the books. So I would be there like reading the books, and, just like really familiarizing myself with things that were being used for the Orishas. Because, like, if I'm going to do something, then I really want to understand what it is. Like, I'm not the type of person to just like jump into something just because other people that I know um, are doing it. So when I found out that Oshun is the type of person that loves kids, but she don't love to raise them. Like, she loves kids, but she loves to live her own life. So she will basically have all of these beautiful children and give them to Yemiya for her to raise because Yemiya is her big sister and she loved to take care of the kids. And that was basically my life. My mother loved kids, but she ain't raised not one child she brought into this world. Not one. She all of her kids she gave me up for adoption. And then my brothers, um, the state took them. So my mother loved children, but she didn't like taking care of them. And when I really understood the whole concept of Oshun, it just mirrored my life so much that even before I found out I was a child of Oshun, I knew I was a child of Oshun. I was like, I got to be a child of Oshun because her energy and story mimicked my real life. So, um, when you get a reading, you don't tell um, your godmother or the babalao or whoever the person is reading you. You don't tell them your story. They tell you what the Orisha tells them, and they tell you which Orisha comes forward to claim you. So when I had my reading, Oshun and Elegua both came forward in my reading. And it was just, so clear. You know, had we been able to stay in Africa and be raised in tribes and stuff like we should have been, all of this stuff would have been given to us at birth. Everything, like the day you were born, the time you were born, the day, like Monday, Tuesday, when all of that factors into who you are. The the which child you are. Like if you are the firstborn girl, the second born, the middle child, girl, boy, however that pattern is in your family, all of that mattered. All of that was taken into consideration because all of that was important. I feel like Black people are the only people that basically our entire heritage and culture has been wiped out. That's why we're so confused because we don't have anything solid to really hold on to. Like a friend of mine who is, I guess, Native American and Caucasian had posted that her mother was the one that was Native American. I guess her father was Caucasian. And she, of course, claims her Native American heritage, even though she didn't grow up on, in the area where the Native American people are, but she claims their heritage. She grows her hair long and she speaks on the things that her mother taught her, the foods that they ate, how wearing different braid patterns means, the traditional meaning. We didn't get that. A lot of us don't even, have no clue what Ifa or Santeria or Yerba or Nigeria. We don't know none of that because we didn't have anyone to teach us that. Our family didn't, teach us that connection. Now, maybe you grew up in Louisiana or, one of the southern states, and your connection is different, but I had no idea anything about the Orisha until I was in my 30s. I had never even heard of the Orisha. I didn't know what the Orisha was. And my context to voodoo or voodoo or hoodoo or any of that was somewhat negative. It was all about, oh, this is how I can hurt somebody, or this is, what I can do to somebody. It was never the positive side of it. Because, of course, in all movies where they show people that practice voodoo or voodoo or anything like that, they always make them look crazy, and they're always, hurting people. It's never anything positive or the beautiful side of Santeria, the dancing, the fellowship, the the bringing of people together in houses. You don't see that. They don't show that because they don't want us to even understand that. We may be native to we may be native to this land. There are people who claim to be part Native American. They do say a lot of black people have um, Native American DNA, but I used to think that I did because my mother had told me that we had Cherokee in our family, but my grandson had his DNA test done, and he is my son's child, and he had less than 2% Native American. So that's not much. He had less than 2%. So he is Caucasian. Cause his mother is Caucasian, and his father is black. His father is my son, my biological son. So he has the DNA from both of them. So his DNA was English, white, Welsh, or something like that, but clearly white, and Nigerian, from Nigeria. And he had like 2% um native, and I think a very small percent of Asian. So then if he only had 2% um Native American, then mine must be low also. So the only way you will know what your DNA is, or where you are, what countries you are native to, is to have your DNA test done. You can't just, assume that we are all native to this country because we're not. Or because just because your parents told you something that they think they were, they may not be. The only way that you'll know is if you have a DNA test done. Silver Lotus Girl said a lot of black families with non-consensual white DNA claim Native American. Yeah, I don't know. Don't we all have don't the majority of us have non-consensual white DNA? I think we all have that. we came over here before slavery, but the people groups known as Native Americans are different people. Not to say they weren't African millennia ago. Yeah, when I speak of Native American, I'm speaking of, and I don't like to call them Indian because they don't like that term, but those are the people that I'm speaking of. I'm speaking of the people that were really native to here. And I know some of us running away from slavery went because the natives did try to hide some of us. And I know some of us had already mixed with them before. Like some of us were here before slavery. Some of us were already here. But my I don't think that my family was because my family were sharecroppers. They worked on plantations. And if you have family that were sharecroppers and worked on plantations, then more than likely they were, they come from descendants of slaves. More than likely, especially depending on, where your family is from. Columbus was lost and misnamed them because he didn't know where he was. It's crazy that he got to name them people that they weren't. Yeah, we know he was lost. He didn't know what was going on. But that was because, hell, there was no navigation. And of course, he was white, and people basically believed everything he said. Hey, Melissa, if I missed you, they believed what he said because he was who he was. Is anybody watching the show on HBO called The Gilded Age? Because it is a very interesting representation of what was going on in the end of the 1800s, I think, when, people really started moving to places like New York and Chicago. Well, this is actually set in New York, but it kind of talks about the influx of people into America and into the bigger cities in America, New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, and how these cities started to grow and progress. This is a really interesting show. And if you look under the Gilded Age on YouTube, if you type that in, then other documentaries will come up and start talking about how, um, you know, America started to grow and progress. And it also talks about how a lot during that time, a lot of white people, poor white people, and poor Irish, and some people from different countries who had come here didn't have anything, trying then to obtain the American dream, and they were house servants, maids, butlers, drivers, cooks, that whole thing. But their story is totally different from, even though they were poor and looked down upon by white people, who had money. Also, they were poor, trash to them. But their story is totally different than poor blacks. And they were poor. They were really on the same level as black people because they didn't have nothing. Black people didn't have anything either. But because their skin color was white or other than, they didn't get the harsh treatment that Black people were receiving. So the Gilded Age is a very interesting um, series to watch. Very interesting. But let me finish the part about Oshun, and then we're going to talk about Yin and Ya tomorrow. Let me see. Hold on, read this part. Okay, so Oshun is the deity of river waters and is also seen as the embodiment of love and sexuality. She is a symbol of gaiety, music, the arts, and human pleasure. She represents the joy of life and is, in many ways, what makes life worth living. Oshun is the patron of gold, and all wealth is hers to give. She also rules marriage and is the giver of fertility. Her influence is gentle and loving, and she teaches humanity that the secret of life is love. So, most people, when you think about Oshun, you think about love. People go to Oshun, most people work with her for, love magic, fertility. Oshun is the, goddess of fertility. If there's a woman and she is having issues conceiving, she can go to Oshun because Oshun has a very soft heart for women. And of course, she wants women to have children. And if you petition her the correct way, she can help you. It is said that a lot of women who are children of Oshun sometimes do have problems with fertility. They have stomach issues. I have a lot of GI issues, and it's said that a lot of women who are children of Oshun do have those problems. Now, Oshun is, she's always seen as young and beautiful. Anytime you um, see pictures of Oshun, if you Google images of Oshun, they will always be. This is one where they are, of course, showing her as a um, mermaid, but all of the pictures or images that you will see of Ocean will always be her as a very beautiful young woman. But you can be a man and be a child of Oshun. You don't, But Oshun is the deity herself is seen as a young, beautiful, flirtatious, beautiful bodied young woman. And Oshun, as an Orisha, is said to be one of the youngest Orishas. She is like the baby sister to, the other Orishas. So she is young, but you don't have to be a young woman to be a child of Oshun. Just because an Orisha is a woman does not mean that a man cannot be a child of Oshun because we are their children. We are not them. And that's what, people need to understand. Because some people were in my comments when um, Beyonce was emulating Oshun. People would say, I want to be Oshun like Beyonce. Beyonce is not Oshun. Beyonce is Beyonce. I am a child of. That's why my name says Omo. Omo means child of Oshun. I am not Oshun. I am a child of Oshun. We are children of the Orisha. We are not the Orisha. Even when we become crowned as a priest or priestess, that Orisha just sits on your head. You don't become the Orisha. You never elevate to Orisha status. You're always going to be human. We're human. We're not deities. And even when you become initiated or crowned, you still won't be that. You'll still be a child of. You'll just be a priest, but you're still a child of because we are children to the Orisha. Because when you become crowned, you go through the birthing process again. You start from day one. When you become crowned, you start from day one. You are reborn as that child of that Orisha. So you can be 56 years old, my age. I get crowned this year. I will be a baby, a newborn, going through my Yawo year, I will become 1 years old. So I'm 57 in the natural or 58 in the natural, but I'm only 1 years old to the Orisha. That's how that works. You're never going to be an Orisha. And I don't think people understood that when they saw, you know, Beyonce dressed as Oshun, they were like, oh, well, she Oshun now. I was like, no, sweetheart, you're never going to be Oshun. Now, you can be a child of Oshun, but you're never going to be her because that's not how it works. That's You were not born to be a deity. You are born, you're a human, and you're going to stay a human for the rest of your life until you transition and become spirit. Yeah. So yeah, I don't understand where people, you know, get that from. It's not a sorority. It's not like just a whole bunch of people in I don't know. I don't know. I think people, don't read enough, don't study. You just see something is black, it's being shown by someone popular, so of course you want to jump on the bandwagon. I saw I had posted that we should still be praying for Brittany Griner, who is the young lady that is still being held in jail by the Russians. And I had said, we should all still be praying for her. And I'm going to constantly be posting Brittany's picture on my community wall to remind y'all that she's still locked up. So a young lady said, oh, well, we should all pray to Ogun to um, have her released. I'm never going to ask you guys to pray to an Orisha. For one thing, the majority of you don't even have a connection to the Orisha, and you don't even know what it takes to really sit down and petition an Orisha like that. For one thing, you can't play with Ogun. If you menstruating, you can't even approach Ogun because that's just something. Some things, if you don't really understand the full scope of it, and you're not willing to understand the full scope of it, just leave it alone. So no, I'm not gonna ask you, yeah, let's all get together and petition Ogun. No, I'm not gonna do that. Because there are certain things with the Orishas that you don't want to get into a position where you offend an Orisha, because you can do that. There are certain things that you just don't do. So I would rather people stay in a lane, stay where you understand. You could say a prayer for somebody. You don't have to, use the Orisha to pray. You don't have to do that. We don't all have to come together. Pray how you pray. If you want to just, say Jesus, say Jesus. There are many times that when I pray, I just call on the Lord because that's who I know. I know Him. I'm still, initiated, all that. But I don't I don't use that like that. And I'm not gonna tell people to come together that I know, are not like that. Juggling mom said that Risha don't even like it. Now see, I wasn't even gonna go there. I wasn't even gonna tell them that, girl. You ain't have to hurt their feelings like that. The Orisha don't like everybody. They selective. And I get people don't even understand that. They just assume, oh, I like Oshun, so I know she gonna like me. She may not. Or y'all may like you. I remember me the day that I received my Alekes. It was another young lady. Was it three of us? I think it was three of us, but it was another young lady receiving her Alekes also. And she was so upset because did she get Ogun? She got Ogun. She got Ogun. And she did not want to be a child of Ogun. Like she was legit crying because, for one thing, my godmother, the person whose house it was a priest of Oshun. The whole house was a house. Elay, I can't think of the name of it, but it was Oshun's house. And I'm getting my lekes for Oshun. So, everybody was like, it seemed like everybody was treating me super special because, she's giving a lekes to another child of Oshun. And Oshun is just different. Everything for Oshun is going to be pretty and dainty and loving and sweet like honey and all of that kind of stuff. And everything for Ogun was a little bit more harsh and masculine and and my friend was so upset. Like we were in the room, we were waiting for them to come in and, take us and get us ready for the initiation. And she was like crying because she didn't want to be a child of Ogun. She just thought that it was too masculine and, she just thought that she was going to receive all of this like masculine energy, and that wasn't what she wanted. Like she was really trying to tap into more feminine energy. Like I've always been um a girly girl, so it wasn't anything for me to tap into. Like I was already extremely feminine. And I think her thing was she really wanted to tap into more of her feminine energy. And she felt like being initiated to be a child of Ogun was going to, tap into more of the masculine energy. And she didn't really want that. Like she was legit crying and stuff. And so our godmother had to, like take her aside and talk to her. I wasn't privy to that conversation, but she, talked to her, and um, we had the rest of the ceremony. And the good thing is, After the ceremony and after we, received our latkes and stuff, they treated us, both the same. Just like we were just like kids. Like all of us were, being just like extremely loved on and taken care of because you go through a lot. Like it's a lot. Like they rip your clothes off you and scrub you down from head to toe and um dress you dress you like a baby, like put your panties on, your bra, dry you off, oil you down, comb your hair, put a headdress on you, dress you like, like you are a baby. Like you just stand here, don't move. We're going to do everything. And that was a lot. It was a lot for me to deal with because you really have to relinquish your power, your ego. All of that is literally scrubbed from you because they take everything. It's that whole out with the old, in with the new, very literally. Like the clothes that because they tell you wear something that you don't care about because you're never going to see it again. They literally rip your clothes off of you, shoes, socks, everything. You never see those clothes again because they're discarded. And everything else that you put on is brand new. Like you have to bring shut up. Like you have to bring brand new clothes with the tags on them, brand new towels. You can't have worn anything. Socks, shoes, underwear, panties, bra, everything have to be brand new. Coat, sweater, whatever you need for that day. So everything else is ripped and cut off of you and torn away from you. And they're just, breaking down those layers of whatever it is, whatever comes up for you is being literally washed away from you from the crown of your head to the soles. They even wash up under the bottom of your feet, everything. So it's a serious cleansing. When the day you receive your lekes, it's very, very, it's much more detailed than just being baptized in the regular church. It's way more detailed than that. It's a whole entire day from like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock that morning to 9 o'clock that night. It's a whole long process. So if you're not ready for that, if you haven't, done your research, because some things they're not even going to tell you what is going to happen. You just have to, go through, trust that they're, of course, not going to hurt you, but you have to, trust your godparents and trust the people that you are in the house with. And, the whole time your ceremony is going on, there's food being prepared. I mean, heck of food being prepared, so the house is smelling good. There's music and songs and prayers and just everything. It was a very beautiful experience, and it's an experience that I will never ever forget. Never. So Um, if you really want to do this, this is something that you are really thinking about, I advise you to, do a lot of reading, do a lot of research. Don't just take everything you hear from people online, at face value. Because, I have looked at some people's Instagram stories, and I'm not going to name any names or anything, but I'm looking at people's Instagram stories, and people are, mixing in a lot of, I guess what I want to say is, it's this thing is changing. This spiritual movement is changing because, younger people want to do things the way that they want to do them. They don't want to do things the old way. They want to create new ways of doing things. And I don't have a problem with that. The only problem I have is when people create new ways of doing things, then the old ways are watered down and in some ways washed away. So a lot of people feel like there should be no initiation. You should be able to self initiate or do things the way you want to do them. But when you do things the way you want to do them, are you doing them correctly? That's like people feeling like, oh, well, there should be no test for driver's license. I know how to drive. But just because you know how to drive, do you really understand the laws of the land? And that is the same with the Orisha. Just because you pick the Orisha that you want to work with, is that really the Orisha that is supposed to be working with you? Are you missing out because you chose Oshun, but your true Orisha is Obatala? Because you don't understand that Obatala is there to help people who may have sickness or, born with diseases like mental health issues, or what is something that you can be born with? I don't want to say bipolar, but cerebral palsy. Say, for instance, is a child born with cerebral palsy or a cleft palate or something, born with something visible that you can see. Maybe a child born with maybe a missing limb or something. Those are all Batala's kids. Those are his children. Those are the children that he loves, because there's a whole story about something that happened to during the creation, something that, oh yeah, trisomy, is it 18 or 13? I don't have my glasses on. 13, thank you. Anything visible that you can see that a child is born with, any type of birth defects, anything like that, those are about to lost kids. Children with ADHD, ADD, ADHD, those are about to lost children. My son was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD when I first got into this religion. And my godmother gave me something for him for Obatala. Those are his kids. But you may look at yourself and be like, oh, I'm pretty, so obviously I'm a because y'all be doing that. Y'all be doing that kind of stuff. I didn't heard people say stuff like, "Oh, I'm light skinned, I'm pretty, so I have to be about to, I have to be Oshun's child. I have to be Oshun because I'm pretty." What? It has nothing to do with your looks. That don't have nothing to do with it. So every handsome man just assumes that he is a child of Shango because he got a six pack. No, you could be Ogun. And Ogun is just not out here. He's not flashy. He's not flamboyant. He don't even want everybody talking to him like that. Like Ogun is hiding out. He in the forest, minding his own business, doing his own thing. Like he don't even come out like that. So he don't want everybody. And Oshun will take you, but she ain't gonna keep you. She'll take you and love on you for a little while and be like, "Oh, you so pretty. I love you so much. You're my child." And then she'll run off and do her own thing. And Yummy I got to come and scoop you up and feed you and wash your clothes and put you to bed because your mama gone. And Yummy I'll be like, "She'll be back, sweetheart. Don't worry. She loves you." Because she ain't gonna talk bad about her sister. But don't be out here thinking, "Oh, I'm Ocean's child and I'm gonna be." No, she's not. She gonna be out here living her life, and you gonna be sitting with Yemi Eye because she gonna take care of you. So yeah, and don't piss her off because I'm mad at two people now, and it's two people that I love, and I can't get unmad. I'm hot under my collar. Do you hear me? Like I need to go and get me some honey and just like I need to put it everywhere on my forehead, in my hair, under my tongue, and everywhere else because I'm hot as fish grease at these two people. I am. Children of Oshun, once we get mad, it's hard for us to get unmad. Very hard. And Oshun is the same way. Once she get pissed off at you, it's hard for her not to. So I'm trying now. I've been drinking sodas, all kind of sweets and sugar and eating candy and everything, trying to bring my temper down. But I'm one of them type of people. Once you piss me off, I stay pissed off for a long time. I'm hot as fish grease at their ass. And they know it. They know it. But I'm probably going to do a rogation and try to get my mind right because I ain't right in the head right now. And when I'm mad, everything irritates me. So I'm trying to get my mind right. But if this is something that you really want to do, I tell you guys to read, research. Don't just take. Oh, what I was saying is I was watching this one young lady's story on Instagram, and she was doing so many things. I was like, okay, is this EFI or what is this? Because it was so much going on. It's just like people are, taking a little bit of this, 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 throwing it together and just calling it whatever they want to call it. And I'm just used to people doing things differently because Ifa and Santeria are totally different. People are just practicing so many things out here. You just don't know what the hell they doing. Shit. Yeah. They under this new age umbrella and I'm looking at things and I'm like, okay, look, either you got to beat them or join them. You know what I mean? Either I got to do because everybody now just just out here doing their own thing. Like we all just out here living our own life. There a lot of the you know old ways are starting to disappear because a lot of these young people just don't want tradition. They don't want tradition. They just want to do it their own way. But you have to have someone to guide you, or you just out here, running around like a chicken with your head cut off. That's how you're going to be if you don't have someone to guide you. You just gonna be out here. Yeah, Tamika, I just be looking at people like, what are y'all doing? What is this? Is this I don't know what they doing. And somebody asked me, is this a backdrop? No, this is a gazebo, and this is the shade cover. Cause someone was like, "Is your background real?" Yes, I'm outside. That's not a green screen. That's a gazebo. See, it has a top and a side. So this is not, this ain't no green screen. Like this is really my backyard. I just want to put that in the video because someone had asked me, is that a backdrop? No, I'm really outside in the backyard, and that's the sunscreen. So I don't know. We will be doing some, uh, some new things this year. I have not figured out how um I want to do it, but I do want to work with some people, and I will be giving out some alekes this year. So I'm going to work with some people, and it's only going to be just like I have. You'll just get the five uh, regular alekes, and we're going to do this not under the Ifa or Santeria umbrella. We're going to do this under the Hoodoo umbrella. So there is no initiation for that. So we're gonna do it like that, and we're gonna make this work. We're gonna have our own little house. So I'm gonna work with a few people. First, your alekes will be blessed by me, and we're gonna make this work. If everybody else can make it work, we can make it work too. Because I don't want to just sit here and talk to you guys. Like I want you to. Is that a bug? Get off my water. I'm trying to get my water. Go get you some water. Um, I want you guys to be able to use these skills. I don't want you to just sit here and listen to me every day and you're not really taking anything from this. I want you to be able to use these skills. I have a question. I live in an area where EFI and Santeria is not available. How does one find a mentor? Where do you live? And where do you live first? In England or somewhere? In the UK? If you don't mind my asking. Because it's somebody in your area, I'm pretty sure. Find a candle shop or a uh, crystal shop or Minnesota. Minnesota. Who live in Minnesota? Somebody on YouTube live in Minnesota. That I don't mean that they practice. Um, there are no crystal shops or anything in Minnesota. Girl, I don't know nothing about Minnesota. I know there's snow, right? It's snow there, don't it? They don't have like crystal shops or anything. I know I've gone back and forth about initiation myself due to my aversion to organized religion and having to subject myself to a leader who may harm me again. I've been told Ifa or voodoo. So she said, I've been looking for 2 years and all are Wicca. There's a huge African population there. Someone said there's a huge African population there. Look for candle shops, look for botanicas, look for crystal shops, look for well crystal shops they may be Wiccan, but look for candle shops, and if there's a huge African population there, hey Tina, then there have to be like African stores because usually where there's a huge African population, there is some type of store there that sells like African spices or uh African foods or something like that. You can always go in there and see what type of stuff they are selling there. I would like start there if you want to find someone um in your area. But even with that, I would still be careful with people that I don't know because it's a lot of people out here scamming, like legit scamming. Like today, one of my friends had posted on Facebook that somebody had got her Instagram, but I thought she had got her Instagram back because she didn't put the whole story on Facebook. So when I got up this morning, it was a message from her in my Instagram, and I thought it was her, but it wasn't. It was the person that had stole her Instagram. And I knew it was weird when they asked me for my phone number. So I blocked them and I asked her, did you get your Instagram back? And she was like, no, they still have it. I was like, oh, okay. So it's people out here doing all kind of scams. So I would just, really be careful, especially of people that have not been referred to me or people that I don't know. Because I went to a botanica out here and not too far from my house, actually. And see, I didn't go in, with my eleces or anything. When I go places around here, don't nobody know me. No one knows oshun. And the lady was really trying to get over on me. Was like, "Oh yeah, well, you probably need to have a reading, and it's $300 and all of this kind." I was like, "Girl, shut up." I didn't even go into the girl. I could have pulled the celebrity and was like, "Do you know who I am?" She would have been like, "No." But yeah, they be out here, trying to get your money, trying to, sell you stuff you don't need and all kind of stuff. Hi, TD. Hi, Landis. So you just have to. I already talked to you, Landis. You just have to be careful about who, just don't go in just like giving people your money or throwing money at people because it is some people out here that are trying to get money for real. Like they can be owning, botanicals and stuff and still be out here trying to scam people and sell you stuff that you don't need. Like you go into a botanica, don't let people sell you, eleces for $400-$500 because you don't know no better. You Oh, that's how much they cost. No, that's a whole ceremony. They not just gonna douse some Florida water on some leches and charge you $400. No, for $400, you should have got the whole entire ceremony, dinner included. And it is people out here that will, do that kind of stuff. I've seen people on my channel who have told me that they've met people online and people have tried to take advantage of them, take their money and stuff. So you have to be careful. You have to be doing your research. You can't just give your money to people because you want to be a part of something that you don't even really understand yourself. So, you know, um, I don't know what else to say, child. Yeah, be scared. I want when it comes to that, I want you to be scared because I don't want somebody to be able to, get in your pockets like that. And it's people out here that will do that. Now, this is not if you're going the traditional route, this is not an inexpensive religion. If you're going traditionally, this is like being a part of a house, getting, doing initiations for real, legit doing it. It's not cheap. Yeah, some people will charge that kind of money. Some people will. So you got to be careful because for $500, you should be getting the whole shebang. You should be getting everything. You should know where your godmother lived. You should have been to her house. You should have her phone, like her legit house. You should have her phone number. You should be able to talk to her. When you get your leques, you have a whole ceremony, dinner. Y'all be there every day. You I basically had the red carpet laid out for me that day. But I paid for it and I got what I paid for. Legit got what I paid for. And it wasn't just, that day. It was like that day, then the next day, my godmother was checking on me because, something had to be done the next day. And then I think after that, I had a Misa, but all of that was included in the ceremony. So I'm not just giving you $500 and I talk to you on the phone for 10 minutes and then get my leches in the mail. You got me messed. You got me messed up. No, hell no. Mm-mm. No. So all of that, you have to, you know, you check the person out. Who is their lineage? Where is their house? Who else is working with them? Who is going to be your Aibona? Who made that person? Like who are you related to? You should know all of that. And if they can't tell you that, then they lying. They lying and they just trying to take your money. And that's not what you want. You don't want to be in a situation where um you losing. So you have to um take all of that into consideration. I mean, but it is not cheap though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think my initial initiation when I received my leques, it was either $300 or $400. But I feel like it was worth it because it wasn't just, oh, here you go. I didn't get them in the mail. You know what I mean? Like it was a whole all day thing. I think it was worth it. Like just that all day thing to me was worth a good 200. And dinner, like real legit dinner with like linen napkins. I mean, it was nice. It was nice. Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap, but it was worth it. I really believe that, that day like changed my life. Like it added to my life in a monumental way. I wish everybody that, is really on a spiritual journey can at least experience that part. Just if you don't experience anything else, experience that. How do you even verify if you don't know? You ask questions. Who who are you related to? Who made you? Are they on social media? Because a lot of people are on social media. My Iba is on social media. My godmother is on social media. And then who are they related? Who are their god kids? They're all these people I know are on social media. Like they legit, they legit people because other people know them. This person. This is, this person is from Cuba. This person is from Miami. But they're on social media. Social media brings people closer together. You could be anywhere in the world and be on social media, and so that person is easy to find. So you have to ask questions. You have to, where did you get made? Did you get made here in the States? I just watched a big old bee just fly past. Like, that's the only thing about spring is like the bees be going crazy out here in the backyard. Um, ask the person, did you get made here in the States? Did you get made in Cuba? Did you get made in Nigeria? Who did it? Where was your ceremony? What type of ceremony was it? What do you practice? Ifa, Santeria? What? You have to ask all of these questions. Like, you have to figure out what tradition, what do you want to do? Do you want to do voodoo? Do you want to do voodoo? Do you want to do hoodoo? Do you want to do Santeria? Do you want to do Ifa? You have to know what that is for yourself, and then you have to go for that. But when you meet somebody, ask them who they are. Who made you? Where did you get made? Where are you from? Who is your godparents? Who is your babalao? Who is your oba? And then when people see that, you are somewhat knowledgeable, then they understand, oh, I can't just run over this person because they're not a dummy. But if you don't know anything, then it's easy for them to take advantage of you. Don't be scared to ask questions. And then if you get somebody and they're not willing to answer any of your questions, then they trying to hide something. Shit, I don't want to be with you. I just remember the sex ring house from last year or the year before. I don't remember that. Well, did it make the news? Did it make the news? I don't remember that. I mean, who was that Phoenix that used to come on to the channel and they said that they had um met somebody and they didn't speak English. They only spoke Spanish. And when they would go to meet with them, everybody was speaking Spanish and they didn't know. Like, why would you even want to put yourself in a position to go to a house and your godparent don't even speak English? You don't even understand what they're trying to tell you because there's a language barrier. Like you can't be in a situation with somebody if you don't understand them. Like if your godparent, the godparent of the house, only speaks Spanish, they can't help you. Y'all not even speaking the same language. I don't remember the whole story, but I know she was saying that the godfather only spoke Spanish or his English was, you know, not really that good. So she kind of had a hard time understanding him because he didn't speak English. Well, how the hell y'all gonna communicate if you speak in two different languages? Yeah, I mean, I knew a lot of Afro Cuban people. They spoke Spanish or whatever, but they spoke English also. Hey, Demona, bonjour. You have to be able to understand a person to learn. You can't learn if you're not speaking the same language that they're speaking. That would be like me coming on here and I'm only speaking in Yoruba and don't none of y'all understand Yoruba. Y'all only understand English. What sense would that make? Y'all would just be sitting here like, what the hell is she saying? And I'm telling you everything. Like I'm telling you everything about the Orisha, but I'm speaking in Yoruba, and you don't understand that. And I really could legit be telling you the truth and really giving you some good information, but you don't understand it because you only speak English. So why would you even put yourself in that position? I don't speak that. And that is one of the things also with this religion is you do have the songs are in Yoruba. And that is not a easy it's not to me, it's not a easy language to learn. But no language is easy for me to even when I was young. And I think I would put, I had this mental block because I didn't want to learn Spanish. I didn't want to learn French either. That and when I was in high school, middle school, yeah. When I was in middle school, we started out with either French or Spanish. I didn't want to learn either of those because I felt like, when am I ever going to speak Spanish? You know, and this was in the late 70s. Yeah, the late 70s, mid to late 70s. Um, I never thought that California would have the uh, boom of Hispanics that we have now. Because back then, when I was in middle school, we didn't have like a whole section I was living in Oakland then, like a whole section of Oakland that is called international because it's just all Hispanic, like restaurants, clothing stores, just all kind of stuff. Like, in most of the people that work there in there are Hispanic, Cuban, whatever. We didn't have that. Like it was only two, maybe three Hispanic kids at my high school. So I was like, I ain't gonna never speak Spanish. So I think I put up this mental block because I didn't want to learn the language. Um, and so it's hard for me to speak other languages. So that's one thing you have to prepare your mind for. Now, yeah, Miss Lachey Wheeler said, I'm learning Yoruba now, and man, it's hard. It is. It's super hard. And you got to sing the songs in Yoruba, like when you're having your when they're doing like your initiation and everything, or you go to a bembe or whatever, they're singing the songs in Yoruba. They're not singing in English, and you're just trying to mimic the words that you hear. They just say just keep doing it, keep keep singing, just try to sing what you hear, and eventually, it will start to come to you. It didn't come to me, child. I ain't gonna lie. I would just be up in there singing whatever I heard, what my ears would hear. I am I the only white woman in this chat that's interested in all this? I bet you all think I'm crazy. I just want all the knowledge I can get in this day and time. I feel like we just don't know enough. I love all people. You may be the only white woman in the chat, but you're not the only um white woman that comes to my channel. I get a few white people here, and I just ask that you be respectful, and if you trying to learn, just listen. Don't be disrespectful, and don't be sensitive, because there are going to be times when we speak our truth about how we feel about white people. And don't be sensitive. If you're going to be sensitive, this may not be the place for you, because I don't sugarcoat how I speak. If it's something really going on and y'all white folks done got on my nerves, I'm going to say that. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it to save nobody's feelings. That's not me. So you got to be strong willed if you're going to stay here, because things get, you know, things get kind of dicey sometimes. And we're not going to walk on eggshells to make you feel good. But we welcome you. But sometimes things get kind of crazy over here, girl. You got to have a strong constitution to deal with us. But I do love when white people, come in. And if you want to learn, learn. I don't, you know, have a problem with that. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. Okay, good. I'm glad you're not sensitive, girl. Because sometimes we be over here talking for real. And we're not gonna be like, shh, the white girl here. We're not gonna do that. You just gonna have to you just gonna have to take it. You know? That's how you learn sometimes. You gotta we gonna be honest with you over here. We gonna tell you what's really going on. It just ain't nothing going on right now for us to chit chat about. But tomorrow we're going to talk about Yemiya. We're going to talk about Oshun's sister, Oshun's big sister, Yemiya, and the role that she normally plays in, you know, the whole kind of life of Oshun. Because all of the Orisha have a story. They're all connected some kind of way. They're all connected. So, and their stories are interesting. How they're interconnected is interesting. And but Oshun and Yemaya have a very special relationship as sisters. So we're going to talk about her tomorrow and tie the two of them in together. And I do want to say this, just because I have a a connection to the Orisha does not change my connection that I have to Christianity. And a lot of people feel like, oh, well, Christianity is white. And if you're connected to the Orisha, then why do you need Christianity? For one thing, our ancestors that were here and have passed on, the majority of them were Christian. And if you honor your ancestors, you have to honor the portion of Christianity that they were, or whatever your ancestors were. When I say ancestors, of course, I'm speaking of mine. My ancestors were Christian, my parents were Christian. You cannot step over your ancestors and forget that they were Christian just because you found something new. Okay? Because you on some new shit. Don't mean that they were, because they weren't. The majority of them were not. I know mine weren't. My mother was very Christian. And so if you're going to honor your ancestors, you have to honor that part of Christianity also. And just because you found the Orishas does not mean that you kick your Christianity to the curb, because it's not like that. Honoring the Orishas, they still want you to honor your foundation. And for a lot of us, Christianity is our foundation. So I just wanted to throw that in there, because I don't want y'all to be, wow, how come you still out here messing with that white Jesus? Jesus could be whatever color you want him to be. Okay. If you want him to be white, he can be white. If you want him to be brown, he can be brown. So let's not get caught up in um, that part either. Melissa said, I know you first every day, Phoenix. Phoenix has the reputation of being first. She is first. Oh, yes. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know what you guys can see. Where am I at? I don't know if you can see. Hold on, y'all. Shit, what happened? Okay. I don't know if you guys can see in the chat who has a moderator stick. So Phoenix is a moderator. Tina is a moderator. Also, I think they're the only ones that are here today. So uh, Tina and Phoenix moderates the chat. If anything go crazy, they see it before I do. They will get you up out of here. If they don't like your comment, or they think you being petty or whatever, they gonna get you, and they're supposed to, because they are my eyes when I'm busy talking. They are my eyes on the chat, and I'm telling you, they snipers. They gonna get you now and figure out what you was talking about later, because they don't have any patience for disrespect, and I appreciate them for that 1,000,000%, because they are my eyes on the chat when I'm talking. I'll Them glasses ain't just for me to be cute. I can't see the chat without those glasses. The chat is just a blur. Phoenix and Tina and the rest of my moderators, they can see the chat. If something is going on and they don't like it, they will get rid of it. They have my total permission to do that. And if I go back later and see, oh, well, maybe they weren't being petty, and I'll let you guys come back, that's different. But if they get you, then you just got, because you got to watch your step when it comes to me. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. This is my space. This is a learning space. This is not a space for us to, you get petty with me or, get out of pocket with me. No, they're going to make you respect me and they should do that. Now, if it's a day for us to just be out here acting crazy and, getting petty and, knucking and bucking, then that's different. That's different. Hey, if it's one of them days when I'm just being crazy and I just tell them, hey, all gloves off today. We just gonna act crazy. Let people act crazy, which is very rare. I don't do that because I don't. I'm 57 years old, and I expect for you to put some respect on my name. You can only talk to me a certain way because I do get a little perturbed. So yes, they love me. I love them, and they gonna keep this chat right. Okay. So that's that, y'all. We will be back tomorrow, and we will talk about Yemaya and her baby sister and how all of the Orishas protect Oshun because she is, she got pretty privilege. She's pretty. She's young. She's extremely powerful, and they all protect her. But Yemaya is the main one that protects and loves and cares about Oshun and the children of Oshun. So, we're not just out here being taken care of by one Orisha. We have Oshun, and most people who receive Oshun will have like a piece of Yemaya's name in their name because they're so connected to her also. And Oshun loves Yemaya because she knows that she's also going to, protect her children. And it doesn't make Oshun a bad person because she don't just take you and just abandon you. She's gonna make sure that you're taken care of for the rest of your life. She gonna come back and check on you. But Oshun busy. She be out here. She got a lot of things to do, and she gonna do them. And she gonna make sure that you're taken care of. You ain't gonna be out here homeless and starving with no protection. No, you gonna get taken care of. But that's just how she is. You just gotta deal with it. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm not gonna say what time. I try to come around the same time every day, but y'all got to realize, child, I'm retired. Okay. And I don't like to keep a schedule. I come when I feel like it. I try to come around this time. I try. So I'm gonna try to start putting it on the in my story when I'm like maybe 30 minutes before I come. I'm gonna try to start doing that. I'm gonna try to start doing a story and be like, "Hey y'all, I'm coming in 30 minutes, so y'all get ready." I'm gonna try to do that, but you know how I get. I say I'm gonna do that, and then I don't even do that. But I'm gonna try to do it. I really am. But we are going to do that tomorrow, and if the weather is nice tomorrow, like it is today, we may go to the park because I like to take a field trip every now and then. Yeah, we do have a few other white people. So yeah, we love y'all. We want you guys to come so that you get an understanding that we are not what the media portrays us to be. And this black religion or African traditions are not what they show in movies. We not out here cutting people's heads off and doing bad to people. Like, we are very spiritually grounded, prayerful people. We always have been, because that was the only thing we had during slavery, was our connection to religion. That was how our ancestors survived, was prayer and, religion. So all of that stuff that the media shows, black people don't have no connection to spirit, they're a damn lie. They just like to show us in a negative light. So I do like for white people to, come through and listen and understand that we are very spiritual people. I have there's been tons of people who have come through to my channel, and it's we have a small group, but there have been so many people to come and get little bits of knowledge and leave. Like, I've planted seeds in so many people that I feel like it's almost oshun flowers growing everywhere, because all it takes is for a seed to be planted and watered for it to grow. So we here, and we will be back tomorrow. And if you want to go and, look at some of the Lord, previous videos that I've done, there is a playlist with the Orisha videos there. So you can check those out. Okay, where's the bee? I'm going in the house. I'm going in the house, y'all. Cause I swear to God, that bee scared me for real. It's this bush that's growing in my neighbor's yard. I forgot what it's called, but it's like lilac or it's not lavender. It's like some type of real pretty lilac flowers. And the bees are attracted to it. And I like to almost had a heart attack right here on live. I almost just went in the house and just left y'all out here because I had to catch myself. There go my sister from Canada. Hey girl, I ain't seen you in a minute. I talk about oshun and the bees just come out from everywhere. I'm like, y'all leave me alone. God dog it. I ain't got nothing for you. And I don't know why I even come outside and talk about oshun, because I know every bee in this county is gonna come over here and be like, she talking about our mama. Come on, she talking about our mama. She right here. She right here. If you don't get away, if you don't get, I don't like bees. I know they're always swarming around here. I hate them. I literally jumped up and ran. Y'all better not be laughing at me either. I'm gonna have my husband edit that part and put some. She's a runner. She's a track star. 'Cause I swear I was almost gone. All right, y'all. I love y'all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Come back so we can talk about Yemaya tomorrow. I gotta see if I got a blue, anything blue and white, so we can talk about Yemaya. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for showing up and staying with me for over an hour. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.